It's nice to see Deion Sanders is working hard to produce a team of future felons. Great ghetto trailer trash method of teaching young men to adapt a corrupt mentality. Colorado trash.
Shout out to TLP Sports Club, baby. Shout out BWB. BWB, Bandwagon Buffs. BWB, baby. Shout out to Bandwagon Buffs. Shout out to TLP Sports, man. Let's go.
TLP Sports, man.
Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon Buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Family, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. Look at the bottom of your screen. You can cop your BWB merch and rep the most educated, well-informed, and least delusional fan base there is in all, and not me, all of college football. Don't buy the hype. Buy BWB, Bandwagon Buffs. But family, I gotta go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Yeah, guys, so I had to react to this video because I saw a few ignorant responses on Twitter. A lot of people don't get it. This is football. This is a brotherhood. This is teamwork. When Coach Prime says that he's old school, he's not joking. Old school coaches, they know how to motivate. Old school coaches use the environment to coach and to prepare their men to go into battle. Some of these coaches came from the military. Some of these coaches were old military guys who learned from the military what brotherhood meant. We don't leave nobody behind. No men left behind. That's where some of these old school ideas came from. The military. You're going into battle. You're going into war with your brothers.
He just spoke. I seen two of y'all walking off over there, and you got to keep teammate fighting. What they do that at?
Nowhere.
What they do that at?
Not here.
If one fight, we all fight. You understand that? I don't want to see y'all walking off with somebody's fight. Yes, sir. Never again.
You're going to war with your brothers. You're on that battlefield trying to win. So if your brother gets in the fight, you get in the fight. And you most likely don't walk away from the fight. You join the fight. I am my brother's keeper. On that field, off that field, I am my brother's keeper. It's also a metaphor. You have to know that the guy that's lining up next to you, or that the guy that's on that field or on that team in that locker room, has your back at all times. You also have to know that he ain't gonna run away from a fight. That's what you're doing. You're fighting on that field with your brothers. So you don't run away from no fight. Where's the grit? Ain't gonna be no safe space on that football field. What do you think football is? Football is a violent game. You ever forgot the Buffalo Bill player that practically died on the field and was revived back to life, went to the hospital? I mean, football is a violent, dangerous game. We're in Power 5 football. This ain't gonna be no cakewalk. We can deal with the fact that Coach Prime is talking about fighting. But if you don't get it, man, then you're never going to get it. If you don't understand what these kids need, then you're never going to understand what it takes to win. There are going to be disciplinary actions for fighting. We'll get to why you fighting. That's not the point here. For all of you safe space people, I want y'all to understand. We'll get to why we fighting in the first place. Because we're not supposed to fight. Let's get that straight. We're not supposed to fight. But if we're going to fight, ain't nobody going to be walking away from that fight. If we're fighting, everybody fights. You're going from 1-11, okay? You're going from 1-11. Winning is a mentality. Winning is an attitude. You can't go out with your boys knowing that if anything was to jump off, that they're going to walk away. Where they do that at? Like Coach Prime says, where they do that at? Your boy gets jumped or your boy starts to fight and you're walking away like, yo, I'm out? Nah, you not out. If he's winning the fight, you make sure he keeps winning, okay? If he's winning that fight, you make sure he keeps winning. You stay there to make sure he keeps winning. You don't have to jump in. You make sure he keeps winning. If he looks like he's about to lose, you throw a punch. Okay? All right? Football is a fight. Football is a violent game. Look at it however you want to look at it. This is old school military style coaching. I like the fact that Sean Lewis is right there. Sean Lewis is taking all of this in. Look at his face. Sean Lewis is a young man. He's coming up in his coaching. He's coached under several coaches already. What he's getting from Coach Prime, I'm telling you, man, when Sean Lewis gets his head coaching job again, that guy's going to be unstoppable. His teams are going to be crazy to watch. He's good with play calling. But what he's getting from Coach Prime are those things that some people don't really get. These are men, and you got to treat them like men. I think Coach Prime has a video clip that's circling online where he's talking about treating a dog like a dog and not a cat. These are young men, and you got to treat young men like young men. Testosterone and ego and all of these things that those young men need to be able to fight on that field, because when the game is on the line, you're going to have to pull it from somewhere. When your brother's in trouble, when he's gasping for air, when those things are happening on the field, you got to know that your brother needs help. You got to step up and you got to play. Not every game's going to be a blowout. Where do you find it? You got to find it inside of you. You got to fight, man. You got to fight. Some of the comments that I'm reading online, it's really sad that some people don't get it. Some people don't understand this. You can label it whatever you want to label it. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but football is a violent game. If you don't understand the violent nature of football, then maybe you're not a football fan, or you shouldn't be talking at all because you don't understand. But this is what these young men need. They need to understand grit. They need to understand a punch, how to punch back, what it takes to win, the energy, the grit iron football. You need grit to win. You're being motivated and you're being taught by one of the greatest that's ever done it. He's come from under legendary coaches that taught him, and he was one of the greatest to ever do it. He knows what it took to get him to where he's at. So he's just using that and instilling that into the young men that he's coaching. Like him or not like him, it doesn't matter. You're going to respect this. You ain't got to like it, but you're going to respect this man's ability to motivate, his ability to get his men ready. And don't forget the short period of time that he's had to do it in. Very short period of time. So that means when you get that short period of time, you don't have time to cuddle kids. You don't have time to babysit nobody's feelings. All of that stuff is important. We're going to handle all of that. But you got to come in here and you got to get to work. You got to hit the pavement running and you got to get this thing done. So that means you're going to have to cut out all the extra fluff. Be very honest. Let your yes be yes. Let your no's be no's and get to work. Because that's what men respond to. Men don't need to be babied or pacified. I'm trying to tell you, that's not how you raise men. Men are not women. If you're raising a child, there's a certain way that you handle a man-child. You don't raise men the same way that you raise women. There's a difference. When you're coaching young men, there's a certain way you gotta coach them. We're not gonna be treating you like no baby. We're not gonna be treating you like a girl. What's most important is that my yes is a yes and my no is a no. A real man should get that. Yo, it's time to get to work. Let's work. You hear me say it all the time. You know what time it is. Let's work. When it's time to work and when it's time for us to go to battle, I don't care if your girl broke up with you, you feeling some kind of way, whatever's going on, listen, deal with that in your own time. Ain't no safe space here. Let's go. We gotta get to work. We gotta get to battle. We got some games to win. When you start instilling that in some young men, the dogs that are supposed to get it, they will get it. Those dogs understand what a dog is supposed to do. And when it's time to work, it's time to work. We'll deal with all the extracurricular stuff later. But when I say it's game time, it's game time. That's why some people don't understand when he says that stuff in the press conferences. Some don't get it. The simple stuff is making headlines. I mean, are you serious? The stuff that you're supposed to understand, most people are not understanding it and it's making headlines. I know somebody's going to take me out of context and start talking something else because, like I keep saying, people hear what they want to hear. Go ahead. You hearing what you want to hear. What I'm saying is you raise men differently from the way that you raise women. If we didn't forget that, maybe our generation, maybe our society wouldn't be the way that it is today. We're forgetting that men are supposed to be men and women are supposed to be women. A lot of people are raising young men like the ways that they raise their young women. That is not how God set it up. That's not how it's meant to be. You heard it from me. Yes, I am emphatically saying that. You can't raise your young men the way that you raise your young girls. We're forgetting that. Men are different from women. These are young men on this football field. The natural law, if you take the natural rules that God has put in place, if you take those things out of our society, things are not going to go the way that they are supposed to go. When God said in the Garden of Eden, if you eat this fruit, you will die. Then the devil tricked Eve and said, you won't really die. If you take those laws out, well, you'll still have boys. There'll still be men with, their men parts, but they're not going to be really men. They'll still look like men, be walking around like men, but they're not really going to be men because you're taking away the thing that really makes them men. Yeah, you're not really going to die, right? You're not really gonna die. No, baby. That's what the devil's telling us. Oh no, you can raise them like girls. If the girls can do it, they can do it too. Treat him like the girls. Oh, he scraped himself. Oh, let mommy kiss and give you a hug and all of that. That ain't gonna hurt them. Listen, man, these are young men, all right? Let's go to some of the comments and see some of the ignorance that people are talking about. Let's go. I already responded to this one. You missed the mark here as per your usual post about God and Jesus. Shouldn't you be against violence, especially violence in sports? You might have been an NFL legend, but what will be your legacy? I'm going to stick with at Pete Carroll. Take care of y'all's chicken. I think I meant to say it's funny how many non-Christians always seem to know what Christians should do. Read the Bible and you'll understand. Like, for real. Football is a violent sport already, especially violence in sports. What, did we forget the gladiators? Are you serious with this one? Really? You don't know that football is a violent sport? The Christian part always gets me, man, because people who are not in church, they sure do know what Christians should do and not do. They decided not to be a Christian anymore, but oh my goodness, they would tell you, boy, oh, this is what you should do. Let me tell you how to be a Christian. I decided I'm not going down that road, but I can tell you how you should be a Christian. If you're not a Christian, leave it alone. You can't tell me how to be a Christian, what a Christian should do. I don't even want to go into the different examples of battles that were fought in the Christian Bible. I should not have to go into the Bible and tell you that God was a God of war. I shouldn't have to do all of that, okay? He finally got off his golf cart to coach something. Nice. Some people don't get it. Do you not know that God had foot surgeries? Are we insensitive? Johnny Husker, toe surgeries? He's one of the fittest coaches in the daggone sport, man. Did I not do the video on the fact that his nutritional practices, the fact that he's fit, that he's now the face of UC Health? Did I not do that video? Did you miss that video, John Husker? He finally got off his golf cart to coach something. Man, come on now. Like, I mean, of course. I mean, that's a hater. Buffalo Bill. What up, Buffalo Bill? Dang, that is the all-pro, one of the best athletes of all time coming out right there, folks. There is a reason this guy is one of the best to ever play this game. I second that. They don't get it, bruh. They don't get it. How about you play football? Fighting is not part of football. Oh, you never played football before. You want to fight? Join the boxing team. This guy or gal never played a down in football. Football is not fighting. Fighting is not part of football. You're fighting as soon as you say down. As soon as they blow the whistle, you start fighting. What do you think you're doing? Blocking, pushing the other guy. Pushing the line, sitting on the guy if you have to. When he's down, you gotta follow him. All of that is fighting. I told you guys it was gonna get crazy in these comments. People got silly stuff to say. It's like they want to say anything today. How do we get here? How do we get into the part of society where kids need safe spaces? How do we get here? This is the reason why we got here. Something caused us to get to this safe space environment that we're in right now, where boys are not supposed to act like boys, girls are not supposed to act like girls. We got here for a reason. We're not supposed to treat girls like girls. We're not supposed to treat boys like boys. Binary stuff, everything is blurred. All the lines are blurred. I'm gonna lose viewers. I know that. People are gonna come for me. Do what you gotta do. All I'm saying is y'all want to erase biology, but I'm just trying to let y'all know biology is a natural part of life. It is. You don't have to accept it, but you gotta respect it, okay? You can live in the corner of life that you live in, but biology is a natural part of life. It's been like that for centuries, decades. When we were in the early days, the reason why men had to go out is because we had the testosterone, we had the fight. You had to go fight the wild animals and go out there and get the food and bring it for the women to be able to make it. That's why we had that. That's where we got the concept from. Obviously, when things got lax and we didn't have to go out there and go fight wild boars or go out there and go do that, you know what I'm saying? Things became more modernized. Women didn't have to go do all of that heavy fighting that we had to do to bring food home. And we now had offices with air conditioning. We had to go work and women could now work. That's where some of that stuff comes from. That was the natural order of life. You can't just erase that stuff and say it doesn't matter, because it does matter. And if you hate me for saying that it does matter, then hate me, okay? It seems that Deion's massive ego got bruised. And when they get ejected from an actual game for fighting, what will he have to say then? You obviously missed the whole point, Dux, D-U-X. You obviously missed the whole point, Duxy. when they get ejected for fighting in the game, what would he say then? Listen, man, I already said what the fighting represents, okay? We are a brotherhood. We fight together. We don't run away from a fight. You want to bring it? We're going to bring it. We're going to get in your face. We're going to be physical. We're going to bring that pain. You understand what I'm saying? We'll deal with the referees. We'll deal with the foul calls. We'll deal with all of that. There is discipline here. We'll get to the part where the fight started and why it started. But right now, there was a lesson to be learned here. We don't leave our brothers out there. We fight together. It's a lesson. You're not ever going to get that, Duxie. Duxie, go sit down somewhere. Go grab many seats. Okay, there's some empty seats right here on this bus right here. All right? Take one of them. All right? Take one of those seats because you obviously don't understand the nature of football. We're talking football here, right, guys? Did I miss something? Oh boy. Now that's a football coach. Come on, Green Arnold. Green Arnold. I'm with you, man. I don't know. People tend to forget. I'm telling you, in a few years, we're gonna have safe spaces on that football field. They're gonna have a little corner with a tent where guys can go if they need a safe space. They're gonna be sitting in that tent. I'm hurt mentally. You know how they have that concussion protocol tent? They're gonna have another tent, and the color's probably gonna be like fuchsia or something like that. And they're gonna call it a safe space. If you need a safe space during the game, that's the tent you're gonna go to. Because a lot of these fans, fans that they the one that whatever they say goes in the game, and they start petitioning and calling out their congressmen. They're gonna start petitioning for safe spaces in football, and we're gonna get that tent. If you keep watching football, it's probably gonna happen. This is whatever this name is. I expose right wing hate. Extreme with her, whatever. I didn't think Deion could be a bigger jerk as a coach than he was as a player, but he keeps proving me wrong. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, safe spacer. You obviously missed it. You missed it. Here we go. This is the one I wanted to get to. It's nice to see Deion Sanders is working hard to produce a team of future felons. Great ghetto trailer trash method of teaching young men to adapt a corrupt mentality. Colorado trash. Yo, I told you, man. I told you. This is where it's going. This is what they're saying. Give these people their 1-11, they'll be fine with it, okay? These people don't understand. When you get a coach that understands grit, that understands how to motivate, you gotta be a dog. You gotta have a fight in you, okay? You can't run away from a fight. Football is a gritty game. It's a dangerous, violent game. Let me break the mold for y'all so y'all can understand. Football is a violent game. Where y'all been? Understand it. It's a game that you have to play with grit. It's a game that you have to play with some tenacity, with some toughness. If you're running away from a fight, if you're not tough enough to jump into that fight, especially if you're fighting amongst friendlies, we're not on the streets out there where there's guns and stuff like that. They got muscles, so it's a gun show. I get it. Don't stop playing. It's a lot of guns out there. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? What is this? NASCAR dad guy? NASCAR dad guy. Come on, guy. I happen to like NASCAR, okay? And you happen to be a NASCAR dad guy. Why are you ruining my sport, man? Why are you ruining NASCAR for me? Don't do that, man. You gotta have grit, man. You're telling me that you don't teach your child, your boy, some grit? I mean, I knew this ghetto thing was gonna come. I saw it a mile away. I know that's what they want to say because Coach Prime happens to be black. This has nothing to do with color, man. This has nothing to do with color. White coaches teach this as well, but it's coming from a black guy, so obviously we're going to get the ghetto stuff. White coaches teach this stuff. Have you seen those white military drill sergeants? Have you seen them at work? A lot of these coaches, the gritty coaches, were white. The old school coaches, white guys. Coach Prime learned from a lot of them. This stuff comes from them. So if we're talking about ghetto, trailer trash stuff, this has nothing to do with color. Relax, bruh. Felons? Felons? Keep driving, man. If you stay in your lane, keep driving and make sure that you stay in your lane, brethren, because felons, if you think teaching grit and teaching brotherhood, I am my brother's keeper, if you think that that's what that means, that it produces felons, then you, my friend, are a lost soul. Because you're trying to make this out of something that is not. Unfortunately, we always have to deal with this kind of stuff because the color of Coach Prime's skin. The key words, okay, guys? These are the trigger words, the trigger key words. So you don't say that other word, felons, ghetto, trailer trash. Those are the key words for you not to say that other word. So we're going to get a lot of that. But this is football. This is a man's sport. And for all of those people that's gonna come for me saying, oh, women can play football too, I ain't saying women can't play football. This is not woman bashing. It seems as if in our society, when we promote one thing, somebody always think that is the opposite we're talking about. My clothing line, So African Clothing. We can love us without hating anyone else. It seems as if we celebrate being African, we celebrate being black. Then it's like people want to come for you to say you hate white people. That's why you celebrating so hard being black. No, we don't. I'm just celebrating the fact that I love me and I love Africa. Even though America has provided me a lot of opportunities and I love America, I can still celebrate Africa in America. It's all good. If you see me wearing an African shirt or a shirt that says Africa on it, it doesn't mean that I hate America. Why does it have to be that way? It just means that I'm celebrating Africa. That's why I also don't get why some people don't understand when white people want to celebrate their whiteness. I'm not talking about the nationalists. I'm talking about just the simple fact of if you're white and you love being white, then be white. That should never be coupled with the hating of anybody else. Just love your country. Love America. Love being from Poland, from Sweden, Europe, anywhere white people originate from. You can celebrate that and I would have no issue. The issue comes when you start saying go back to Africa. When that love turns into hate. My devotion this morning was above all of this is love. Love. That's right. For those of you who are going to say, well, where's the love when he's telling the kids to fight? The love is there. That's the love. Do not leave your brother fighting. If your brother is fighting, you don't walk away from him. If your brother is fighting, you're fighting. That's love. I am my brother's keeper. When you're on a team, I am my brother's keeper. I guess you guys never Remember the Titans. If someone talks trash or treats your brother wrong on campus, you are your brother's keeper. It's called bonding. It's called building relationships. This is how you do it so that this football team can be cohesive. This is what you do to bond your team. This is what you teach in order for your men to understand respect for each other. This is what you have to do in order for you to not be 1-11. Done with the comments. Obviously, there are people who would say what they have to say because they want their voices heard. We all want our voices heard. However, some people don't get it. All right. Some people are not going to understand. Public outrage loading right here. Here it comes. Public outrage is loading. Yep. Once again, we're dealing with something where people don't understand that this is what it takes to win. I'm not following well-off media forever. Oh, let's follow them. Guys, listen, man. This is football. Get used to it. A lot of people are not used to winning and they don't know the mentality, what it takes to win, the attitude of winning. But this is what it looks like. You got to get used to this. If you want to start winning, if you want to understand what winning is like, you're going to have to understand how to train men, to be gritty, to be tough. All right. Not these soft men that we have out here today. You're going to have to teach these young men to be tough, level-headed, can't be soft on that football field. So remember that. To be tough, you can't run away from a fight. Harry B. Okay, family, that is all the information that I have for this video. I hope you got a little something out of it. And if you did, please make sure to smash that subscribe button to help this channel grow. That's all I do here. I'm going to have to leave it right there. You know who I am. I'm Harry B. And that right there was the Liberian Perspective. That's TLP Sports Club.